Good morning, guys. So today I've got a bit of a different video, but I thought maybe it'd be interesting to share and give more of a personal insight into my thoughts and also just have a break from the life lessons, I suppose, and just have a one-to-one conversation. So ultimately, I've been thinking about goals for 2024, and I only really thought about these recently, like this month, because I used to set New Year's resolutions in the past, but I found that they never really worked for me. It's good to have a measurable goal, but I don't really think that specifically because it's a new year, I should start working on that thing. I feel like if I wanted to work on something, putting it off until that time would just make less progress instead of actually helping me progress further when I could just start it immediately. So I started this channel I think like December 16th or something. Sometime around then, I posted my first video. But then all the videos after that were in January because when I was home during Christmas break, I decided that I wanted to invest in a camera and I wanted to actually start making content. And so I started my channel technically this year, 2024. And initially, I just posted stuff here because it was what I enjoyed doing, and ultimately that's still why I post, because I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, it'd be very difficult to sustain, and it's more so the act of creating that I enjoy more than actually having that work created, if that makes sense. So ultimately, I'm making the work for myself, which means it doesn't need to be marketable in the sense where when I choose my titles and stuff, of course there's some degree of trying to fit the algorithm, but I kind of title it like how I want to title it, and I make videos based on what I want to speak about. Realistically, it would probably be better to have my channels broken into like my channel wouldn't be a bunch of different categories like cinematic videos, self-improvement stuff, like uni diaries, book reviews, because one person that wants to watch one thing probably doesn't want to watch the other stuff. But I want my channel to be a collection of me. Like, my channel represents who I am rather than marketing it towards a specific audience, I suppose. And so that helps me keep it sustainable. But just recently, I had one video that got a decent amount of views. I think it's at like 2.4K right now. And so probably 2 weeks ago, I had about 15 subscribers. Now I have 88 from the last time I checked, which, like, in the grand scheme of things, isn't significant. But for me, it's a pretty big thing if you think that 88 individual people chose to subscribe to the channel. And so obviously things stay the same and I approach it the same way. But it kind of got me thinking that the quality of the videos should improve because people are watching them, and even though I'm making it for myself, there are other people who want to consume it, and so it needs to be worth their time to consume. So to start off with, the one big goal, this is the most optimistic goal. I would like to set it, and it might be unrealistic, but at the same time I'd like to set it. I have a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and of course the numerical goal doesn't really matter, but it's kind of just a nice way to measure my progress because it gives me something to work towards. So essentially it keeps me motivated because I have a goal in mind, and if I set the goal for something relatively low, like let's say 1,000 subscribers, even though that I might not even reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, if I set that goal and I did achieve it, I feel like it would be easy to kind of relax and think, okay, I've achieved this. So I'd rather set it high and not achieve it, but push myself towards achieving that. And I will work very hard for it. It's something I want to do, and so I'll keep working on that. And the next thing is that, so I'm a first year university student. I'm 19, and I would really like to work towards becoming financially stable. Because right now, in terms of like food, rent, all those expenses, I'm reliant on my parents, and of course that's kind of the expectation. Like, as 19 years old, I'm not supposed to be able to pay everything, but I definitely want to work towards that, whether that's like trying to start a business, working some kind of job somewhere, building my portfolio or even like monetizing YouTube videos at some point. I just want to be able to, firstly, afford the equipment that I want for my videos. Because right now, obviously, like I got a new camera, which is very nice, but I'm still limited by the equipment I have. Like my lighting isn't fantastic, my audio isn't fantastic, all that stuff. So being able to invest in that would be really nice, because there's a bit of a restriction there in terms of like pursuing my passions, but at the same time I don't want to let it hold me back, which is why I'm not waiting until then. I'm making stuff right now. But I also want to be able to decorate my room and stuff like that, because living in this place versus when I used to live at home, it has a very different feel, because at home it was customized and stuff, and here it's difficult because I can't really put things on the walls, which means that the stuff that I do have in my room needs to be sort of more purposeful. So I just want to work on like upgrading equipment, like for example the kitchen things I use, like a knife set. I'd like to get a knife set and like get some plants, get some nicer lighting, get some LED lights for my bed, maybe like new bedding, stuff like that. All that stuff I can't get right now because I don't have the money for it. So that's the next goal, to be financially stable and be able to like actually buy the things that I want to buy. And that also improves the quality of my life, whether it's like sleep quality, skincare through new skincare products, physical health, whether that's like new exercise equipment or investing in supplements or just food, I don't know, stuff like that that might help me. The next thing is related to that kind of fitness goals. So I train calisthenics, and I would say I've been training it for like 4 years, but I really didn't know what I was doing at the start, and also I was very skinny. So yeah, I think for fitness goals, there's like the muscle up, which I'm getting kind of close towards, and I'll be posting a video of that kind of soon in like in my uni diaries when I go back home. I'm working on achieving the muscle up, and so I'm kind of close to that. There's things like the planche, which is like a work in progress. I don't expect to get that this year. I can do like the L sit, and I'm working towards a V sit. There's something called a mana, which is like really crazy. I'll put a photo probably. Yeah, I'll put a photo here. But yeah, that stuff is what I'm working towards. I think in terms of this year, I'd like to be able to do a handstand push up, an L sit to handstand, a muscle up, and then I'll probably just work on the other stuff slowly. I don't have any like strict goals, but yeah, I just like to make progress. So fitness goals, that's essentially what it is. And I'd also like to, there's a half marathon in October that I'd like to run. So I'll probably start training for that. It depends if I can actually do it or not. But if I do get around to doing that, then that's another fitness goal. Next, we have building a social circle. So this is something that has always been my struggle. Finding people that I want to be friends with, essentially. So at school right now, at university, I have a group of friends, but none of them are people that I'm especially close to. And I don't know, it's hard to value time with people over time alone, because I find that I get so much more done alone. And so the only people I'd want to be friends with, or at least people I'd rather be friends with, are people who also want to get stuff done, because then we can get stuff done together. So another goal that I was going to mention here that I might as well bring up now is I'd really like to join like a martial arts group or some kind of group fitness thing, especially with other guys, because I feel like being in that environment, it's like very motivating, and you build connections and a social circle, almost like a tribe kind of thing, but you're working towards something. You're not just there like gossiping or whatever. You're getting stuff done, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So it's probably harder to find that because it's probably less common, but that means when I do find it, it's more rewarding. So even if I don't find like my set in stone social circle this year, I'd like to at least work towards developing that, whether that's through joining like clubs or something. And then next, I kind of touched on this. I'd like to improve the quality of videos. In terms of equipment, that's a work in progress, but in terms of video editing and stuff, that's something I would like to work on, as well as improving my cinematography skills. So just knowing how to sort of like take good shots, the pacing within my shots, having transitions, and improving, like, firstly the quality of my editing where it's more engaging and looks better, but also the speed of my editing so I can produce things quicker, because that makes it a lot easier to make more stuff if I can do the production stage a lot quicker. And similarly to that social circle, I'd like to work on kind of finding my purpose, I guess. This is like something that I feel like some people never find, or maybe it takes years, and I doubt I'll find that this year. But working on it means kind of finding the group of people I'd like to be around, finding what I actually want to devote myself to, and just committing to that. And right now, it's been creating videos and stuff, because it's the first time in a long time that I felt like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to commit myself to. Every moment I spend working on this, I'm enjoying it. But even though there are challenges, I'm willing to push through them, and there's no, like, I never have doubts that it's what I want to do. Even though there are struggles, I never think this isn't what I want to do, essentially. And so I'm pursuing this now, and who knows, maybe things will change, or maybe I'll stick with this and it'll continue to be rewarding. So the next one is produce 50 book reviews. I have the 50 book challenge, and the goal is just to stay consistent with it and actually produce 50 books, 50 book reviews. The thing is, I'll definitely read more than 50 books. I think I'm already on book 11, and I've only produced, I think 6 book reviews, maybe 7. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I'm ahead, but obviously I only produce 1 a week. So the book reviews take a lot of time to make. So I'll read more than 50 books 100%. But yeah, I mean, that's the goal. It's not something that I even have to necessarily work towards, because it's like the expectation. But just matching that is a goal, at least. And then figuring out my long-term sleep schedule. I've been experimenting with my daily schedule and sleep schedule over the past probably 3 months, since the start of December. And although I'm finding what works for me, it's still changing maybe every like 2 weeks. Like maybe I wake up an hour earlier, or I change my work time to later in the day or earlier in the day or something. So it would be nice to just kind of figure out what works for me and start to develop consistency in that, instead of changing it all the time. And of course, adjustments are useful, but at a certain time, it would be nice to have that set in stone so I can build a proper routine, because that routine would be, it would help me firstly sleep better, because my body will know, like, okay, this is when I need to sleep, which improves the time and quality of that sleep. But also when I'm working, my body knows, okay, this is work time, and then I can focus 100%, no distractions, get into flow state and just get stuff done. And that's kind of hard when you're constantly changing things around. And then the final goal that I have on this list is just to work on my general confidence. And this is something that has gradually been improving over time. And to be honest, recording has helped a lot, because this is, although there's not another person here, it's still talking to someone and having to like have substance in a conversation, and also present like a more genuine just representation of myself, because I'm usually very closed off, and making these videos, especially like the uni diary and stuff, it gives an insight into my life that no one has ever had, kind of just like my way of doing things. And like the cinematic videos are like a more intimate kind of relationship that, yeah, I don't usually have with people. So it's helping me learn how to express myself. And ultimately, I just want to be satisfied with who I am and not seek validation, in the sense where this is something I worked on a lot, but I used to make comments about myself like, oh, I'm not good at this, purely so that someone would be like, oh, yes, you are, right? Because then it makes me feel good, but then the validation's coming from them, not from me. And similarly, I might tell someone about something I've done purely so that they can like congratulate me for it. And I'd rather just feel that gratitude and like that excitement within, not from someone else, because if I can feel it from within, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And also, like, ultimately, I'm the only one who needs to know what happens. So yeah, that seems to be everything. So just to summarize, main goals: 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, work towards becoming financially stable, building a social circle, focusing on and achieving some of my fitness goals, producing my 50 book challenge, finding my purpose, figuring out a consistent schedule, and then working on my confidence. So we have, I believe, 8 goals there, if I counted correctly. They're kind of broad, and there isn't necessarily like a defining, like there's no way to define them. The 10,000 goal one is measurable, and I guess the 50 book challenge one, but a lot of the others are subjective. But ultimately, it doesn't need to be like a measurable goal for me. I just need to be able to know what I'm working towards, and I feel like, yeah, that's basically it. So I just thought I'd share my goals if anyone wanted to know, and also so again I can look back in the future and think, oh, did I achieve these goals? Is that like that's what I was working towards at that point in time? And ultimately, yeah, that's it. So if you guys have any goals, or you have any advice on how to achieve these goals or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys on Sunday. See you guys.